Hello everyone. I am Joya, and today I'm here with Lucía Romero, director of the short film Cura in taking part in the 15th edition of the Ca' Foscari Short Film Festival. First of all, welcome. Thank you for being here, and congratulations on your work.
Thank you so much.
Your short movie focuses on the consequences of violence and specifically on the lives of two sisters, Jessica and Alma, who have to face this hardship from a very young age. And given how delicate this theme is and how personal it seems to you, I wanted to ask you, when did you realize that you wanted to share this story with the public? And what was the making of the film like for you? What were the most challenging parts? What were the parts that you enjoyed the most? And then, most importantly, how much of yourself did you put into these characters?
Okay, the first question, I would say I had been thinking about the character of Jessica for a really long time before coming up with the story. I was very interested in what hides behind anger and what hides behind defensiveness. So I wanted to explore this character who was, in the eyes of everybody else, was kind of like um, a bully or mean or even violent, and explore how, like, what are like the causes of that violence that she kind of like puts out onto other people. And I started to explore that, and it was like very psychological like process. I think like it was like a way to understand how it had happened in my family, and how it really works, like the cycle of abuse, and how the patterns of behavior really like are very present in the way we raised children and in the way we relate to others. And I could see that in my family lineage. I could see that from my mom, from my aunt, from my grandma. I could see that in me as well. So um that's kind of how it started. And then yeah, I wanted to like portray Jessica, who was being abused, and who was also starting to become abusive. And that way you could understand both sides of the coin in the same person, and you could see that violence does not come from anything, it comes from trauma. So that was kind of like the starting point. Then about the challenges that I faced during the film, there were quite a few, because this was a graduation film, so we didn't have a lot of budget. But luckily, I had a team who was very, very committed to the story. All of them, like most of them, were my friends, my very good friends from uni. So they already like knew me and knew the story, and they kind of like are all very talented and put a lot of effort into making this film work. And I would say the most challenging part of the whole process was the acting of the two sisters. And I don't know if it was challenging, because it was not hard. It was just the thing that took the most effort and the most time to really perfect. And I was lucky enough to find both Rasbeli and Rose, that played the two sisters, very early on. And it was like almost 6 months before filming. So we really had a lot of time, and we took it very chill, very relaxed. We ended up meeting like once a week. So it was very relaxed for them, because they were kids, so they couldn't be like in a very intense schedule. And I think that was the most challenging part as a director, also to like trying to make them understand their character without exposing them to things maybe they are too young to understand. Especially with the little one. She was only 8 when we casted her. So I didn't want to take away her innocence, or I didn't feel appropriate telling her certain things about the characters. And it was like a fine line between like her understanding what she had to do, but maybe not exposing her too much to the themes of the film, which of course then we always think that kids are we always tend to think that kids don't know what's going on, and normally they know, just like us. So she kind of like proved me, without me having to say too much, she proved me that she was understanding what the character was going through. And that was also a beautiful process, to see her like kind of like have this, yeah, like this maturity in understanding what was going on without being like affected by it. It was just, yeah, she knew that that was what it was, and she portrayed it very, with very in a very sensitive way, I feel like.
Yeah. Okay. The challenges you faced did not affect the final work at all, in my opinion. The two of them were brilliant in the parts. So
Good.
they did a very nice job, and you, of course, did as well. So my second question, since we are talking about the little one, is regards the ending of the short film. So at the end of the film, Alma recites this sort of nursery rhyme, this Cura, and it is a very touching scene. Um, and this nursery rhyme is both playful and profound at the same time, given its link to the theme of healing. So I was curious to ask about the tradition behind this rhyme in Spain and what inspired you to include it in the film.
Thank you for the question. I like it. Um, Corazon is like a Spanish lullaby we sing to kids when they get hurt. And I think it's not only Spanish, like in other Latin American countries, they also sing it as well. They sing a little different. They say, um, Sana Sanita, instead of Cura Sano. But it's kind of like the same thing. And it's something like when you have a like a little kid and they fall down and they start crying, you just take their I don't know how you say it, their wound, and while you're cleaning it, you're singing it to them to make them relax. So that's something that I think all of us like Spanish kids have gone through as kids. um, so of course, I the topic, like the thing of like the theme of the movie was about breaking those violent patterns of behavior and breaking the cycle of abuse. So of course, healing was involved in that, you know. So for me, it was very like it was like kind of like the gift that Alma gave to her sister, and kind of like, yeah, her opening the door to a much tender way of treating each other. And since she's quite little and she still hasn't gone whole her walls up like her older sister, she's able to, even though you hurt me, um, and you kind of like attacked me, I can respond with love, right? I can respond to violence with love. I can respond to anger with love, and I think that's kind of like the answer for me sometimes in regarding this topic. So it was very important for me that the ending had that touch, and that like really helped Jessica to just be able to say, you know what, let's play a little more before going back home, and kind of give back that gift to her sister in the form of playfulness.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, they are just kids. And so, yeah, it was very clear seeing that the first scene is a fighting scene, and then the end is this sort of healing scene. I thought it was very nice to see and very moving. Um,
Thank you
so,
so much.
as I already mentioned, I really enjoyed your short film, and I think there are many aspects that would deserve to be mentioned and analyzed. But I would like to end the interview with a more general question about you and your career. So, I wanted to ask you, how important do you think that film festivals are for emerging directors such as yourself, and what is the achievement that you are most proud of so far? And what are your plans and dreams for the future of your career?
That's a good question. So I think festivals are everything, no, to an emerging uh, director. They really, really, really can change the course of your life, your professional life. In my case, since I had like the my first selection with Cura was Berlinale, that really changed the trajectory of my life, really, because I don't know where the film would be if that selection wouldn't have happened. Um, so for sure, I think festivals are a very important door that can be open for a filmmaker. They also, for me, are very are a way to connect with people and are a way to like get to know other creators and just a way to, especially for those who are making short films, who really get the people to see your film, right? Because it's very difficult, like the distribution process. There's not really a space for short films. No, there's not a space in cinema, of course, and there's also not a lot of space in like VOD platforms. So festivals are really like that moment where you can feel like the message you are writing when you're making the film is being received by somebody. So I think that's very beautiful. And yeah, so in general, that I don't know what was the other part of the question.
What's the thing that you are most proud of so far, and what are your plans for the future?
So I don't know if I could say like one thing I am most proud of. The thing I am most proud of is the films that I make. I feel like not so much the achievements, because that's very subjective, right? And that's also external to the art of making film. It's like it's all of course very nice when people um recognize your work and they like it and they want to select it to the festivals, or you have some kind of opportunities. But for me, it's very important that I look at the film and I see myself in the film, and I see kind of like the soul of the project and what I've been planning to portray. So that's the most important. I would say that both of my short films, Corazon and Casi Septiembre, are achievements that I'm very proud of. Corazon, I feel like it's always gonna be very special because it's a story that's very close to my family, and it's also my first project. And it has taken us in a crazy ride because it somehow worked so well, and we've been to a lot of countries with it, and it's also going to be special because it's the first time, right? um but yeah, I'm very proud of that. And regarding my future plans, I now premiered like a month ago my second short film that's called Close to September. I premiered in the Berlinale, and now we are in the distribution process of this second short film, as well as with Curasana. And I'm writing my first feature film that's gonna be based on the themes of Curasana and the characters. So I'm very excited about that because, of course, since it's so personal, there were a lot of things that I wanted to touch on that I couldn't make it in 20 minutes. So yeah, I'm kind of in the process of writing the feature now.
Oh, that's exciting. I will be looking forward to seeing your films then.
Well, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for this interview and good luck for your future.
Thank you.